The Lloydminster Kiwanis Club kicked off their Festival of Lights on Sunday. The park has now been decorated with beautiful lights and decorations for the community to enjoy. Here's Abby St. John with more.
The Kiwanis Club has decorated the park with festive lights and decorations to bring the joy of Christmas to the community, something the city is happy to have.
I think it's just special to be able to come out and have something that's free for everyone to enjoy, whether you're old or young. You know, you could have an infant child in or a stroller that could enjoy this just as much as you could have a grandparent or a great-grandparent come around and enjoy this. So, you know, just having it is just a little extra in our community for the people who live in Lloydminster and the surrounding area, just to have a nice place to visit.
With close to 17,000 lights, the club is overjoyed with how it turned out. All their hard work setting up was definitely worth it.
Me personally, my heart is so full to know that we can bring just a little bit of joy to this community and to families. And like I said, this is definitely a labor of love. It's a lot of work, but every minute of it is worth it if we can make somebody's life just a little bit happier and joyous, especially during the season.
Even though the turnout wasn't what was expected due to the weather, the event was still a success.
It's not what I expected, but then we weren't expecting a storm either, so I'm just grateful to everybody who came out. Thank you for that, and you know what, it is what it is, so I'm happy.
The Festival of Lights will run from now till the first week in January from 4:30 p.m. till 10:30 p.m. Abby St. John, Primetime Local News.
And now it's time for a weekly look into the archives in this edition of Retrospect. We start Retrospect by taking a look back to 1992 with an all-too-common Lloydminster issue, the debate over building additional ice space.
Now, within that estimate,
the 4-month arena feasibility study, which was prepared by the Randall Conrad Limited of Edmonton, took a wide-range look at whether Lloydminster needs another ice arena. The study researched the user groups to current ice supply and funding options. Through the 2.5-hour meeting, it became very obvious from the study that Lloydminster definitely needs another arena.
Lloyd is in a situation of supplying 2.5 arenas because of one natural ice surface, and will require actually 3 arenas in the next 1 or 2 years. 3 indoor artificial ice arenas if demands are to be met.
We'll go from here. We'll prepare another draft. This will be the 3rd draft from the consultants. At that point, we'll provide it to the user groups, asking for some more input, some more thoughts, some more opinions, and hopefully once we receive that, we can put it into a final form and then present it to council. At the current time, the study is at the committee level, and it's probably going to be 2 weeks to 3 weeks before we're ready to take it further.
Well, most of the talk last night centered around a new arena. It was also unveiled that the Civic Center is in need of massive upgrading as soon as possible. From a leaky roof to an unleveled rink slab, which the ice sits on, to dressing rooms. The list of repairs is a long one and very costly.
Well, if we did all the upgrades, including the ones that must be done and the ones that would be nice to have done, we're going to be looking at about $1.4 million to be spent over a very short time. Some of the physical problems that we're experiencing with the Civic Center must be addressed now. If we don't do that, the problems are going to become compounded, and it's going to even be more expensive in the future.
We could let it go for up to a year. It's lasted this long, it'll last another year. It can be, but it's on its last legs. I mean, as far as every year you're getting movement, you're getting broken lines, refrigerants leaking out. It's at its limit. And to push it, to even think of pushing it, say, 3 to 5 more years is, I don't think, realistic.
If the city had any doubts at all whether Lloydminster wanted a new rink, it was answered with an overwhelming yes at last night's meeting. The next step for the city is to sit down with a study and look at the number of options open, from building a twin arena to adding another ice surface to the Russ Robertson or Civic Center. But all those options cost money, from $1.5 to $2 million. With that kind of money on the line, and add in $1 million of upgrading to the Civic Center, and the city definitely will look long and hard at those options before taking their next step.
And Lloydminster Credit Union members vote to amalgamate in 1997.
On Wednesday night, about 60 people gathered in Lloydminster Civic Center, all of them members of credit unions, most from Lloydminster, the others from the Waseca branch. Earlier in the year, the Waseca sub-office was starting to feel pressured. Research showed if they remained autonomous, the office would have to close its doors. So the decision was made to get help. A unanimous vote Wednesday was the help needed. Lloydminster Credit Union amalgamated with the Waseca branch.
We're encouraging our members just to continue supporting the credit union as they always have, and to hopefully other people will see the advantage of dealing with a larger, stronger organization such as Lloydminster.
And the merger will remove the restriction on the size of loans for Waseca members.
Because this is one of the problems that smaller credit unions face all over Canada. By law, they are restricted as to how much they can loan out because it's based on their assets. And our asset base being so large makes it possible for us to really provide large loans to members who need such loans.
The amalgamation takes effect January 1st.
This has been our look back at this week in retrospect.
Retrospect this week is brought to you by Webb's Ford. Worth your while to drive the extra mile. Webb's Ford in Vermilion.
Our Abby St. John sat down with Olivia Brockhoff with Project PJs by Olivia to talk about the project and the changes to it this year.
I'm happy to be joined with Olivia Brockhoff, who has a very special project that she started years ago called Project PJ. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So can we start off with what Project PJ is and where the idea for it came from?
Yeah, for sure. So basically, when I was itty bitty, really little, I was in grade 3. My friend's little sister was even smaller than me, and she had cancer and was in and out of the hospital constantly. Like, she would come to our classroom and her dad would pick up my best friend and tell her that like they have to leave because her sister is too unwell to like go through the day-to-day or be home, where they would have to run to Edmonton to the Stoddard Hospital. So I don't know why it happened years later, because I was in grade 6 and I was like, I need to do something to help people like her who are in and out of the hospital. Like, I can't cure cancer. What can I do? I can't raise thousands and thousands of dollars. I can't. So I basically brainstormed and I was like, well, what do I do when I'm sick? What do I like? What do I need? Well, my parents, but I can't give people their parents. And I can't cure cancer. So I was like, oh, I love to sit in my PJs all day and watch TV. So I pretty much just was like, I told my mom I think I would like to donate PJs to a hospital. I wasn't sure quite which one yet. I was just like, whichever one I can do. And she was like, okay, like, yeah, like, she's like, kind of like, let's be realistic about it. And so was my dad. Like, they didn't want to get my hopes up. So I started by talking to my principal when I was in grade 6. And she's like, yep, we'll send out a letter. We'll get people donating. And my goal that year was 100. And I think I got around 600 that year. And this year's my 8th year.
That's amazing, starting this so young. It's incredible to see. Now, this is your 8th year, as you mentioned. Is there something different you're doing this year, or have you changed anything up?
Well, a lot. First of all, I'm not in Lloydminster. I'm trying to manage what it's going to look like, me being 2.5 hours away and balancing school. And also, the Stollery Children's Hospital in Edmonton is undergoing a massive, massive, massive renovation, because kids come in and out of that place like crazy, and of course they need more room, right? So right now, unfortunately, they cannot receive PJs as they don't have room to quarantine them and sterilize them and all that. So I have talked to the Jim Pattison, I think that's how you pronounce it, hospital here in Saskatoon, and they said they would be more than happy if I can continue my project here.
That's incredible. What is your goal for this project going forward now that you're an adult and in university?
Goodness, I don't even know. Right now, I'm seriously taking it one day at a time. There's so much I want to do, and I have so many ambitions to, if I want to move it to more vulnerable populations, or if I want to move it to within the university and people who have kids and are younger or are financially in need, or I'm not sure. I want to do a lot of things, but I'm not sure how to do them or when to do them or all of the above.
I'm sure you will have no problems moving forward, considering how amazing it's been for the past 8 years. If there is anyone who would like to donate, how can they do so? And is there a deadline that you would like to meet to have all of the pajamas in your possession?
For sure, my deadline is February 14th. But we often do, we're not going to say no to PJs ever. So honestly, I'll take them all year round. Right now, our drop-off locations is Spiros and Lloydminster, and Carter's, Oshkosh, and B'gosh. And I am looking for more drop-off locations. So if anybody wants to reach out, I'm happy to say yes. And just a reminder, they need to be brand new PJs.
And if they do want to reach out, how can they do so?
On Facebook or Instagram at Project PJ by Olivia.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, and I wish you the best of luck for this year and the years going forward.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
The Lakeland Wrestlers men's basketball club secured their first win of the season on the road this past Friday against the Augustana Vikings. And they continued their winning ways by staying undefeated at home the next day, winning 85-70 against the Vikings. Our Adil Ahmed spoke post-game with second-year guard Baha Salma from Saturday's match.
Here with the guard from the Lakeland Wrestlers men's basketball team, Baha Salma. Now, Baha, big win tonight here, at home especially. 85-70 was the final score, but for you personally, you had a heck of a night. 20 points, nearly 8, perfect from the field goal at 8 for 9. What was working for you tonight for the most part?
I don't know, just like taking what the defense gives me. Like, I'm not being too selfish with the ball, just moving around to my teammates and stuff like that. Like, obviously, like, just happened to be my night, you know? So, yeah.
You know, it was really those first 2 quarters there where, you know, everything was kind of working from beyond the arc, field goal, free throw. Just how nice is it to kind of get rewarded when you're putting in all those hours through practice and whatnot, and just to see it kind of pay off in a game time situation?
Oh man, it just feels amazing. Like, just like one of those. It's like satisfying. Like, it's like indescribable. Like, it's one of those feelings that you just have to be there for me to like. You just have to be there for me to like tell you. Like, you have to be there. I can't just tell you. Yeah.
Well, another thing is just also getting a win against the Augustana Vikings. The night before, you guys got a win, your first win of the season on the road, and then in addition, you got a win here at home tonight. You guys stay undefeated on home court. Just how nice is it to kind of ride with that momentum as you guys kind of head into the break here for the first semester?
Oh, it feels really good to just end off on a like high note like that. And we're going to be adding some key players like Abdul and Roy, and then we might add a couple more pieces. So it's going to be real nice. We're looking to make a run, push for playoffs. So yeah.
2 wins in a row now with this group, kind of heading into the break, like I mentioned. And in addition, I just want to talk about that part there. You mentioned key pieces that you're adding to this team in the next semester with Abdul Al-Tamimi and Roy Anku. Just when you guys are already as good as a team as you are right now, and then having those added weapons to your group, just how much dangerous of a group do you guys become at this point?
Oh man, we're looking to win it all. Go to nationals, do it all. Yeah, heights are set high.
Just overall, talk to me a little bit about the head coach, Sherry Thomas. It seemed to be putting you out there tonight. You had 35 minutes total in this game tonight. Just how nice is it to kind of have that trust from your coach when you can be put out in situations, whether it's, you know, getting buckets or being a defender and locking down some of the best guys in the league?
Oh, it feels amazing because like it's one of those things. Like, if you don't have the confidence, you know your coach is trusting you. If your coach trusts you, you gotta trust yourself. So as long as someone else believes in you, I feel like you should believe in yourself.
Absolutely. Well, you can see Baha Salma and the Rustlers take on the Northwestern Polytechnic Wolves at home on January 13th as they look to keep their home streak win alive and go 6-0. Thank you so much again for your time, Baha. I appreciate it.
For sure.
Mother Nature left us digging out this morning. With more on the weather forecast, let's check in with Shelby Clark.
Thanks so much again there, Mr. Jace Mackey. Yes, definitely caused a lot of people to have to dig themselves out this morning because it also happened with Jace Mackey. Had to help him get himself out of a pretty tricky situation, but we made it. We walked, so it's fine. He's safe now. Yeah, he's out. He's good now. But hopefully everybody had that same situation where they're able to safely get out there. And, you know, us being Canadians, everyone that will catch you will sometimes stop and help out. So it's really nice to be able to see that too. So hopefully everybody is nice and warm now and safe and driving carefully. But now checking in with our central zone of our provinces to kind of see where we are sitting at temperature-wise. On the Alberta side, most spots are seeing the same temperatures as what we were looking at across the region, with most around minus 12 to minus 14 degrees over on this side. So we have cooled down quite a bit over on this side compared to last week for sure. We're seeing those plus temperatures. We have definitely dropped starting off this week already. Over in Jasper, they are probably the warmest compared with minus 11, as well as up in Cold Lake, but still seeing those double digits. So we are cooling down quite a bit as we are heading more into the winter season. Switching over to our Saskatchewan side, they are looking slightly warmer compared to the Alberta side, with some spots seeing those single-digit temperatures, with most seeing minus 8 right now, minus 10 for North Battleford and Meadow Lake, and of course still seeing that minus 12 here in the border city. So definitely have cooled down starting off this week. Switching over to our northern zone, for some reason South End isn't showing there, but we are seeing some single-digit temperatures over on this side in our northern area, which is nice to see. They were looking at cooler conditions compared to the rest last week, but for today they have warmed up compared to the central zone. Minus 7 in Flin Flon, while there's minus 9 in Buffalo Narrows and La Loche. Seeing those double digits as we look higher up, with that minus 11 and 12 for Stony Rapids and Wollaston Lake. Looking at minus 16 up in Uranium City. So Uranium City is definitely looking the coolest compared to the rest. Switching over back to our Alberta side here, they have dropped quite a bit starting off this week as well. Even seeing cooler temperatures than what we are looking at in our central area. Minus 11 for Fort McMurray and Fort Chippewa, while there's minus 13, 14 for Slave Lake and Grand Prairie. And we start to definitely cool down as we look higher up here for High Level and Peace River, even getting closer to that minus 20 mark. And now going over to our southern zone, they are actually matching more with us in our central area with those temperatures, especially on our Alberta side. Most around minus 11, minus 12, seeing that minus 15 over in Banff. So Banff is definitely looking cooler compared to the rest. And switching over to our Saskatchewan side, they are seeing some warmer conditions compared. Minus 6 over in Yorkton, while there's minus 8, minus 9 for Moose Jaw, Regina, and Estevan. So those spots are looking at those single-digit temperatures, although they are dropping down to those minus points from what we were looking at last week, and seeing that minus 12 and 13 for Swift Current and Kindersley. But now looking at some temperatures overnight that we will be expecting. Oh yeah, some rough conditions that will be continuing on. As you can see in surrounding areas, we will be looking at that snowstorm and some snowfall continuing throughout the evening. We will be dropping down with those temperatures as well, with most spots expecting that low of minus 14, minus 15. Meadow Lake will be expecting that low of minus 13 degrees, while Provost will be expecting the coolest on this list with that low of minus 18. So with that wind chill, it will feel past that minus 20 point for all these spots as well. And of course, snowfall is expected. Most are going to be around 4 centimeters expected with that snowfall. So just be ready, have your shovels prepared. And looking at some more areas here, we are seeing some much more cool down temperatures than what we were looking at last week. We're seeing a low of minus 13, 15 expected for Pearson and Unity, and the rest are even getting closer to that minus 20 point alone. And with that wind chill, it will feel a lot closer to that minus 30 mark. So make sure you are plugging in your vehicles, layering up, and get ready. You will be seeing a lot more snowfall continue on in these spots as well. And ending off with our 7-day forecast here in the border city, be prepared because we will be getting some more snowfall for Tuesday and Wednesday, and cooling down for the rest on Thursday, Friday, and even reaching that minus 26 Friday. But don't worry, we won't be seeing too bad of temperatures next week, starting off next Monday. That's all I have for now. Our Jace Mackey will have news coming up after the break.
I'm so pleased to be joined on Primetime Local News by a special guest who has a connection to our area here in Lloydminster. Christine Milkovic-Kraus is here today, joined by her friend Teddy. Thank you, Christine, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me again as a guest on your show. Teddy's very excited.
I see he looks super excited to be involved in the interview, but he's really the inspiration for these books that you have written, Christine. So let's start again by going back to Teddy's story. Tell me a little bit about how he came to be with you guys.
Yeah, so Teddy was found in a barn by a cowboy in Lloydminster, Saskatchewan, named Evan Rosette. And he then had too many animals to take care of. So he brought Teddy to a shelter. Teddy had lots of injuries from frostbite. Teddy lost his ears to frostbite, and we wrote a story about that called Teddy Loses His Ears, about preventable injuries to animals. And then through the shelters at Keen Cat Care and Heart and Soul Rescue Organization, I started fostering Teddy, and then we just decided to keep him because he's a wonderful cat. And every year that goes by, he just gets calmer and more trusting and better and better. And he's my little shadow.
Well, Christine, you have the second book now. How did you come up with the title for that? Does Teddy really love spaghetti? Is that part
Teddy,
of it?
yes, all of the stories about Teddy are true stories. So while we were fostering Teddy, we were having a spaghetti night around the table. And Teddy just jumped in between the kids, inserted himself between them, and sat at the table and just waited patiently for food because he doesn't beg or anything. He doesn't jump on counters or tables, but he just kind of sat there like he was part of the family. And before I even came up with the idea for Teddy Loses His Ears, we're like, oh my goodness, Teddy loves spaghetti. And he did. He attacked a bowl of spaghetti. And that's kind of how the idea for the children's stories came to be, because Teddy loves spaghetti. Just it rhymed and it was such a perfect story. So it is true. Teddy, every time we have spaghetti night, comes and sits at the table as part of the family and hopes to be given a bowl.
Well, now, Christine, each of these books tends to have a little bit of a lesson as well. So, what's the lesson behind the Teddy Loves Spaghetti, or is it just a fun book this time?
It is a fun book. It does use humor, but there are lessons in there. So the lessons are what you can and cannot feed your pet, and learning about nutrition for yourself and for your animals as well. It's an introduction to diabetes awareness and how you might see other friends with their electronic circles on the back of their arm, and how it helps them to feel balanced throughout the day. And then it also gives you alternatives to food-based rewards that you can do with your pet instead of feeding them food that might be harmful to them.
When people purchase these books, Christine, for the first book, some of the money went to rescues. Are you continuing that trend with this one as well?
Yes, absolutely. Every story in the Teddy series will have a donation QR code set up in the book. So if you connect with Teddy's story and you feel like you would like to donate to the rescue organization that connected Teddy with me, then absolutely you could feel free to scan it, and every dollar goes to the rescue organization. And for the month of December, since Teddy Loves Spaghetti has released, I will also be donating $1 from every Teddy book sold this month to the Heart and Soul Rescue Organization as well.
So, how many more books do you have planned, or do you know at this point, Christine?
Yes, so book 3, called Teddy Gets Adopted, is in the works. It's already written, it's just being illustrated at this time. And then Teddy Visits the Vet is a very surprise ending story about Teddy. And that has been written, but it's in draft process right now. So I'm still working on it to get the wording just correct. But yeah, I expect both of those books to drop by 2023.
So, are you surprised at all, Christine, at the reaction to these books? Because even if you look at the reviews on some of the sites where they're sold, they're just people just love these books. Does it surprise you at all at the reception that you've had to it?
I'm so grateful and honored at the reception, and how they're quoting me as like the books are expertly written, and I love it. I'm so, because you put yourself out there, and it's you know you're a little bit self-conscious to put it out there, because you are subjecting yourself to people's opinions, and oftentimes people can be mean, but everyone's been so wonderful, and Teddy's received nothing but 5-star reviews. And even my latest book was reviewed by a professional book blogger, and he had nothing but incredible things to say. So I'm very excited.
Well, Christine, this is so absolutely awesome. We're so happy that Teddy ended up with you guys, because obviously it's the perfect family. And if anybody's looking to buy the books, first of all, great Christmas gifts. Both of these books would be fantastic ideas for Christmas gifts. So, where can people get them?
People can get them currently right now on Amazon. I've decided to go direct to Amazon with my stories. So that's the fastest, cheapest, quickest way for people to get their hands on it.
All right, Christine, well, thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to the rest of these books coming out in the series as well.
Thank you so much, and nice seeing you. Teddy was a little bit nervous today because she knows you interview big celebrities like Garth Brooks, so she's very honored to be included in that circle.
Well, Teddy's just as big of a celebrity as Garth in my book. So
thank
you
you so
again,
much.
Christine. We really appreciate it.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Joining us today for Primetime Local News is Jacqueline Weed with Big Brothers Big Sisters Lloydminster. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today, Jacqueline.
Thanks for having us.
Of course, anytime, because I think, this is the perfect time to be able to reach out and speak, with the holidays coming up as well. But I know this is a big one for your organization with Christmas Shopping Table, and that is beginning today. So what exactly is this? I just want to help get the word out so people can just know what this Christmas Shopping Table is all about.
So this has become an annual event for us. It started several years ago. We would put out items that have been donated for the kids that came to our program to shop for their families. And then it's sort of grown over the years as we have more and more stuff that's donated, or, we bring stuff from our homes, like it's gently used stuff anyways. So what we do is we have a table in our office, and we have different themes every week, and we put items out at a fraction of the cost of what you would pay if you were buying them in the store. And so one week we have a Christmas theme. One week we'll have like a household item theme, and then we have a toys and that kind of stuff theme. And so any of the proceeds that we receive from that go towards supporting our mentoring programs. And so it started today, and it'll run until December 16th.
Okay, perfect. And for people that just want to get involved in this, how can they just kind of find more information online and just know where they can go find the Christmas Shopping Table?
So we post the pictures of what's available for sale every day on our Facebook page. And then shopping is open from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So they can message our Facebook page, or email us, or phone the office if there's items that they want reserved or to pay for, and then they can pick them up like at the end of the week in case they want to shop all week. And so that'll be on Facebook and Instagram, the items that are available each week. So it changes daily. We restock and add new things. So there's lots of treasures.
No, that's really nice. And you're saying this has been going on for several years now. So annually, people have been able to kind of participate with this Christmas Shopping Table and being able to help out with Big Brothers Big Sisters. So how has that support been in previous years? You've seen a strong response?
Oh yes, a very strong response, especially during COVID, because people could shop from home, right? Before we used to have it just in person. And so during COVID, we started that they could shop from home. We would post the pictures, and it worked great. We had people this year that were wondering if we were still going to do it, because we're a couple of weeks later than we normally are, but we just had some other things going on in November. So now we'll run it into December, and hopefully everyone can find the treasures they're looking for.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fantastic idea. Is there anything else that Big Brothers Big Sisters is kind of in need of right now with the holidays coming up?
Well, right now we're also fundraising as part of our whole holiday campaign, our Ignite a Little Sparkle campaign. We've launched Light the Lights, which is a fundraiser where any donation that we receive, people get their names on light bulbs in our agency, and we put them on the strand of lights. So hopefully we can light up 20 strands of lights this year. Last year we had 14. So it's pretty cool. And that all goes to support the kids that are on the waiting list, the kids that are matched, and helping us to create those new matches. We do always have children on the waiting list, and so mentors would be probably our number one need right now. It's just mentors for all of our programs.
Perfect, Jacqueline. I'm really glad we're able to speak and help get the word out, not only for the Christmas Shopping Table starting today, but for everything else that you're in need of for Big Brothers Big Sisters. So hopefully this helps get the word out, and you'll be seeing a good response. So once again, yeah, I think you will be. People here really know how to show that strong support. So once again, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
And that does it for this edition of Primetime Local News on this Monday night. Thank you all so much for joining us. Have a great night, and we'll see you again tomorrow.